So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Burumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, insurance company feels the pinch of lifestyle diseases. Investigation continues into David Reddy's death. And Film Fiji targets productions from Hollywood. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. A Chinese fugitive was stopped from leaving the country by customs officers over the weekend. The Chinese national had arrived in Fiji aboard a fishing vessel and was stopped at Nandi International Airport as he attempted to board a flight to Samoa. Although cleared by the system, customs officers stopped the suspicious person because of his physical appearance and the details on his passport. Chief Executive Chitoko Tekolevu says they seized undeclared cash over $10,000. FIRCA contacted Chinese authorities and were told the man has been wanted by Chinese police for some time now. He has been handed to border police for further investigation. Neil Slack is no longer the Chief Executive Officer of the Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji. A statement from MSAF says Slack's departure has been effective since February 27th. John Tunindao has been appointed as the acting Chief Executive Officer until an appointment is made. Slack was appointed in September 2011. Non-communicable diseases make up the bulk of health insurance claims by BSP Life, with $5.8 million paid out in medical bills last year. Ritika Pratap reports the insurance broker is seeing increasing claims from members suffering from NCDs.
More Fijians are tapping into their insurance policies to pay for the treatment of lifestyle diseases.
There's definitely a rise in claims relating to NCDs. Some of our customers have been with us longer than others, but we see an ongoing trend where there has been a rise in NCD-related types of claims.
There is no quantifier for the financial cost of NCDs, but the fact that more claims are being paid out means there is a growing financial burden.
The flip side to this, from an insurance perspective, is that we are saying insurance is a need for those that would like to provide for unexpected events that may arise, such as hospitalization.
Malakai Nayanga says medical insurance mitigates risk and people don't have to go around fundraising, seeking donations, loans and FNPF withdrawals.
When such events occur, then people start running around to, whether to families, friends, to try and pull together funds to meet their hospitalization costs. So from where we are coming from, we believe that if people have a health insurance policy, they don't need to actually go out when something unexpected happens.
BSP Life has also started creating awareness on NCDs to promote healthy lifestyles in their business and contribute to the community. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The number of Hollywood productions in Fiji have been low over the last few years. To improve the situation, Akusita Thale reports Film Fiji has established a network of producers and will meet with them this week.
A 6-member delegation led by Film Fiji Chief Executive Dallas Foon will be attending a roadshow in the US this week. with a target of attracting more than 50 productions.
They have several exciting projects, which we hope they will choose Fiji as a location for those projects, and hopefully we can bring those productions to Fiji and finally bring Hollywood back into Fiji. There hasn't been many large US-based productions in Fiji for some time, and we hope to start that again this year.
Film Fiji says location, sun, surf, sand and sea won't only be the driving force. Fiji has some of the best tax incentives around.
On top of that, we have the most attractive incentives and rebates in the world. The 47% film tax rebate is one of the best, and it's most certainly gotten interest from Hollywood to access those rebates.
The tax rebate has existed since December 2010, and this is something Foon and the team will be pushing to secure Hollywood productions. Television commercials will soon be included in the rebate scheme.
We're hoping to get over the line at least a couple of those productions that we're talking to. We're talking to some producers who have already written a script, and we're hoping to be able to pitch Fiji to those producers.
The audiovisual industry has contributed 0.2% to Fiji's GDP last year and earned over $55 million in direct income. Film Fiji's trip to LA will be the first face-to-face meeting with a network of big-time producers who are interested in Fiji. Akosita Talei, FBC News.
Police are investigating reports that a girl reported missing 13 years ago has been seen. Speaking to FBC News, Police Chief of Intelligence and Investigations ACP Henry Brown says they've contacted the family of the missing girl and are conducting DNA tests to confirm whether the person spotted in Suva is the same person. The matter was brought to light when a relative reported seeing someone in Suva City who had features similar to that of the missing girl. The girl was reported missing in 2002 when she was 18. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama will address the United Nations Human Rights Council meeting in Geneva later tonight. He is expected to speak on human rights issues that were brought up in last year's meeting after Fiji presented its report on human rights development to the Human Rights Council last year. The Council is made up of 47 member states, which are elected by the majority of members of the General Assembly of the UN through direct and secret ballot. The General Assembly takes into account the candidate states' contribution to the promotion and protection of human rights, as well as their voluntary pledges and commitments in this regard. After the break, dental care to be rolled out to remote communities.
Bula FM nambandua na serane wasiningona ni batara ni sibiti ko bekenda na diwa na tini na miniti na may pakuriti ore beng grabe na nontangonongo kanda na dapat ko ani na kaloko ene ka venden de bobli na tay wali ni may dapat ko na wani matakabo kan lib sarti ko na biser talio ni na namaka ka do batati may kinen na kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka ayo salamilawa do bataki ya wana batara na wani dio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka ena Bula FM nambandua na serane
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Mulubinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Fiji Police Force has confirmed it received a report from the LTA on the examination of David Reddy's vehicle retrieved from the Waindalide River last week, but will not comment on the findings yet. Police spokeswoman Ananai Soro says investigators are compiling a comprehensive report on the vehicle and remaining forensic evidence.
Investigators have been instructed to compile a full report of all the findings that they have managed to put together and then submit it to the Chief of Intel and Investigations Office, ACP Henry Brown, where he will be going over the file and then will give further directions on what to do next.
25-year-old David Reddy's body was found in the Waindelide River last week, 2 days after his brother filed a missing persons report. Nothing has changed for the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation as far as the Fiji Trade Union Congress is concerned. Federation Chief Executive Nesbitt Hazelman says the FTUC is the same entity they've been dealing with for some 50 years now.
It's business as usual between the Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation and the Fiji Trades Union Congress. According to the Federation's Chief Executive, Nesbitt Hazelman, the fact that FTUC is not a registered trade union does not affect their work. Hazelman says it's more about collaborating on policy matters than workers' grievances and collective bargaining.
FTUC, the Employees Federation, deal with matters at a national level. So we try to influence policies to do with wages, fixing wages, terms and conditions of employment, etc. at the national level. So that's why you find both the Fiji Employees Federation and the Fiji Trade Union Congress are members of the ERAB, the Employment Advisory Board that advises the Minister on issues relating to the Employment Act, or the ERP as you put it.
The FTUC is an umbrella body for some of the major trade unions, including the National Union of Hotel and Catering Employees, the Fiji Public Service Association, and the Fiji Teachers Union, among others.
So basically, they're the body that is recognized by ILO, and also, as I stated before, they're recognized by the Fiji government, and that's why we sit on various boards that advise government on employment issues.
Labour Minister Chiochi Konrote does not at this stage want to comment on the government's stand on the FTUC. The Trade Union Congress recently held elections for its office bearers and said there was no need to involve the Fijian Elections Office in the elections as required in the electoral decree because it is not a trade union. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Women are being encouraged to associate themselves with people who have a vision and a mission in life. While speaking at the Westpac Fiji Women Morning Tea, physiotherapist Kathy Wong reflected on the importance of fighting for gender equality. Sakyu Sanaivor reports.
Students, women from various NGOs and government departments were invited to hear from inspiring women who have contributed successfully to the community and in business. Kathy Wong, a champion for rugby, athlete welfare and for women in sports, spoke of the many challenges she had to overcome through.
Working with rugby was challenging, but I didn't see it as a challenging role. I just saw it as a role that I had to do. I didn't look at it as I was a woman doing a job. For me, it was a professional.
Fiji's representative to the Pacific Island countries, Litemowi, says a lot of men and women need to catch up with the 21st century. And one of the biggest challenges is to be partners both in the home and in the workplace.
Women can do many things at both micro level and helicopter view. And this is what the men have to realize. Instead of just siding them, pushing them to the side because they are women. It's not our fault that we were born women. But it's going to be our fault if we let that mindset continue into the 21st century.
Women have been reminded of the importance of being equipped with the right knowledge and believing in themselves. The session is a lead-up to the International Women's Day celebration this Saturday. Sakusa Nebua, FBC News.
Sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening in sports. After the break, champion Fiji under-19 cricket side return home and Netball Fiji secure a 3-year sponsorship deal. This and more coming up.
बॉलीवुड हीरो बनती रे. Get this.
हीरो सपना दिखेला बंद करो.
क्या करो यार, सबको आती नहीं, मेरी जाती नहीं. मिर्ची मस्त मॉर्निंग में हूँ अश्निल सिंह.
हाय, मैं हूँ काजल.
शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
6 AM to 9 AM.
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
Yoni borongo tu mai na Radio Fiji 1 to toka tunan raki na ngona ni ko ni takini yoni nando tu mai nanda ngono go me da ben na ruana no binga rabi na singale ni ko. Ni sambula vinaka oya wana kamana langi na makia na vi mataka mai na diwa kina rua na vi singale mai na moni tikina borombo kan Radio Fiji 1 nando mai viti bonga ni vi aniano.
The Fiji Cricket Under-19 team arrived back home today after winning the ICC East Asia Pacific Trophy in New Zealand last week. The win qualifies Fiji for the Under-19 World Cup next year. Josephine Navula has more.
The young cricketers were greeted by fans at the Nandi International Airport after achieving the milestone in New Zealand last week and becoming the first ever team from the country to qualify for a Cricket World Cup. Cricket Fiji High Performance Manager Joe Rika says the competition was tough as they had expected, but the performance of the players was outstanding.
It remained competitive right throughout the end. The last match was obviously a friendly match, but to play the way the boys did, even after the intensity of the first three matches, and finish off well was what we are also really proud of.
Fiji secured the top spot with 9-wicket victory against Samoa last week, which was icing on the cake for the side. Rika adds despite the good performance, the selection door of the World Cup remains open.
We've got a lot of talent in the nation also for players interested in competing who are based overseas. We'll have to take that into consideration as well.
Sideni Leila Kemba claimed 4 for 17 to earn the Player of the Match award against Samoa. The young lad from Mote in Laos says the achievement meant a lot and he dedicated it to the people who have helped him come this far.
This win is dedicated to all our friends and our families and all our supporters in Fiji.
By qualifying, the team has now earned its chance to play against teams such as India, Australia and England in the World Cup. A great achievement for a small nation of Fiji. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
Another sponsor has put its hands up for the 39th Fiji Betamara Sevens tournament this week. Vodafone, who are no strangers to rugby, today signed a deal with the organizers of the tournament. The deal sees the mobile company provide handsets with internet connection and match balls for every team at the tournament. The tournament will be played in Suva this Friday and Saturday. Netball Fiji received a major boost today ahead of the Pacific Games and the World Cup later this year. Digicel Fiji and Punjas have come together to sponsor the sport for the next 3 years in a sponsorship deal in excess of $350,000. Rohit Deo with the details.
Netball Fiji officials were all smiles today as they entered into a new partnership with Digicel and Punjas. The hard work put in by the officials has finally paid off, with much relief coming from the announcement of the deal.
In one word, we can say this is an awesome deal, something that we have been trying to, put down actually in writing, and that it has happened. It is indeed a milestone achievement for Fiji Netball.
The new deal will see the launch of a new franchise-style Super League competition, which starts with a ranking tournament this Saturday. Fiji Pearls coach Kate Kapenda says this will allow her to select the national team from a wider range of players.
There will be about 120 athletes competing in this competition, and it's now across weeks and months as opposed to a weekend. And so that's really useful in terms of talent identification, development of athletes, and it's also across Fiji. So it's broadening the base, it's identifying athletes from all over Fiji, and when we do that, we have a stronger group.
The sponsors are hoping the sport will reach greater heights with the support provided.
Hopefully this is a great shot in the arm for Netball Fiji, as we'll now be providing over $350,000 worth of investment into the sport that will hopefully allow the sport to continue its fantastic growth path over the next 3 years.
With success continuing on and off the court, this announcement highlights a Netball Fiji's flight to be amongst the best in the country and the world. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
In another match, Arsenal beat Everton 2-0. That is your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Banks are also victims of climate change, and a banking expert says there is a need for financial institutions to adopt policies to help them mitigate the effects. Eleanor Tarangaivu has more.
It is rightly said that climate change is a global issue and no one is spared from it. Banks are now coming to the realization that they will be heavily affected as climate change continues to alter our lives.
Looking after our environment is something that is going to become more important for bankers around the world. Climate change means that many of the assets that we lend against today might have a limited shelf life.
Bob Leon says if that wasn't bad enough, banks are the very ones who are financing developments which contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, one of the main causes of the global temperature rise.
Already banks have been punished by their shareholders over deals that have been done with industries such as seem damaging to the environment, such as mining and forestry, for example. What will really make banks take notice is when their assets securing loans cannot be sold or values are dropped substantially. Here in the Pacific, we are more the victims of climate change.
The banking expert says banks must now adopt policies that will help them cushion the effect of climate change.
I was asked to speak at a climate change conference in Hong Kong last October, organised by the World Bank. It became apparent to all of us there that banks are going to have to adopt policies to help guide them in what loans they will participate in.
Leon says banks in the Pacific will suffer a lot more. For Fiji, it will be worse as the local banks have a smaller balance sheet. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Generally fine weather prevailed over most parts of the country today. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over Solomons and extends southwards over New Caledonia. Meanwhile, another trough of low pressure affects Tuvalu, Tokelau, Northern Cooks and French Polynesia. Maximum temperatures for the first working day have hit the 30s. Savu and Lautoka recorded 31 degrees, Lombasa and Nandi 32, while Suva had 33 degrees. Bar reported the highest with 34. The outlook for tomorrow, some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers, isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms with heavy falls expected. Wednesday's outlook, some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers. And recapping the top stories. The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority has seized a fugitive wanted by Chinese authorities. BSP Life pays out $5 million in medical benefits due to NCDs, and Film Fiji targets 50 Hollywood productions this year. Results from last week's poll question, we had asked, are you satisfied with the level of debate in Parliament? 65% answered no. This week we ask, is Fiji progressing well in women's empowerment? Visit our FBC website www.fbc.com.fj to have your say. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube, FBCTV 2011, and Instagram, FBCTV. That's all for tonight. Be sure to join the team and I tomorrow at the same time. Till then, good evening.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहां हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहां स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूं पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ।
ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना